Hi folks, Matt Klaskowski here once again, and let's take a look at a feature inside of the Creative Cloud version of Photoshop, Photoshop CC. It's an enhancement on something that we've had for a while. If you look up inside the Camera Raw dialog, there's something called spot removal, okay? And that tool has always been there. And the way that tool has worked is if we saw a spot in the photo, we would click, and Photoshop or Camera Raw would go in and find someplace else to patch that little spot with. However, what they've done in the CC version is they've made it into a brush, because all we used to be able to do is click to make a spot. But now it is a brush, meaning I can do this with it. And it goes and it fixes and finds another spot to fix it with. So what do we do with that technology? If you look over here on the right-hand side, we've got heal and clone. So we've got two different ways to use it. Most of the time, I think you're going to find that heal is going to be the one that you're going to use here. And what we'll do is let's go ahead and grab our zoom tool and kind of just zoom in on the woman's face here. We'll go back and grab that spot removal tool. And so some ways that you can use it is you'll find it comes in really handy. You could see she's got a little bit of a more pronounced vein up here on her forehead. So what I would do is just click and brush. And you can see it goes in and it finds another area of skin to patch it with. I'm going to turn off the overlay. You can see it right down here at the bottom. The keyboard shortcut for that is V, the letter V for Victor, overlay. So take a look. Here's the preview. That's before. And that's after. So it gets rid of it. To me, it's a little bit too apparent. So what I like to do is reduce the opacity. And that kind of just softens the effect. Same thing over here. Just go in and brush. Okay, it goes in and it removes everything. You could see if I turn the overlay back on, it did the exact same thing. And again, reduce the opacity. If you bring it all the way down to 0, it's like we did nothing. 100 looks too smooth, so I would break it up somewhere in between there. Another place this works really well, let's turn our overlay back on, is right underneath the eyes. We don't want to totally get rid of the texture in any lines. So we all have it, everything right underneath the eyes there. We don't want to totally get rid of that texture. For some reason, it is finding something green over here to fix. If you ever want to, I can just click on it and move it and say, no, I want you to fix it with this area right down here. And we'll put the opacity back up to 100% because I want to show you. I'll turn the overlay off. So that obviously looks fake, right? It doesn't look good at all. But we bring that opacity down, and we're just going to bring some of that texture back in. And that's the key to the whole thing. You bring it back down to 0, it's like it never existed. But if you bring it up 20, 30%, all it does is just lessen. It just kind of takes some of the focus off some of those areas there. Again, we don't want to make people's skin look porcelain smooth. That wouldn't be real. But to just kind of reduce the impact there. And I mean, like I said, it's on kids, and it's actually sometimes especially on kids. I don't know if they don't get a lot of sleep or whatever it is, but I find I do this on kids all the time because they always get those dark circles under their eyes. And again, make sure you turn on the overlay, and that way you can control right where it gets put. But don't forget, just reduce the opacity. Again, sometimes I'm amazed at some of the places it finds to fix with. So we just move it back over here and turn on that overlay. Again, 100% looks fake, looks like a patch. But if we bring it down and we split the difference somewhere 30, 40, 50%, I think you'll find out it works really, really well to just reduce some of those blemishes, lines, whatever they happen to be. It's a really good thing to do. And if you take your brush size down even more, you could even just click and get rid of tiny little spots too, because it still is. It's called the spot removal brush, right? If you hover over the top up here, spot removal. So it is for removing spots, but it's also a brush now. So even if something is more than just a spot, although something like this is, we can just click on it and we can brush like we normally would any other brush that's out there. All right, so make sure you check that out. It just enhances the power of what we have inside of Camera Raw, and almost makes Camera Raw one of those places where we can get so much more work done without going into the full-blown Photoshop and working with layers and all those different things. If we can get it done inside of Camera Raw, do it, because it's so much easier and so much faster. My name is Matt Klaskowski. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you again very soon.